never, ever give up. I want you to say it with me. Never, ever give up. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine you've been out of work for several months, your spouse hits you up with a divorce, and you're forced to move out of your house that you lived in for over a decade. Can you feel that stress? Ladies and gentlemen, that was my world in 2015. To say I was stressed was an absolute understatement. I was crushed with stress. I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, how I was going to live, where I was going to live. And then all of a sudden, I started to think about my dad. Now, the 2014 public speaking champion, Jaya Hediarachi, it's a mouthful, thinks that he's got a cool dad. But he hasn't met my dad. My dad is beyond cool. He's going to be 97 years old this month. Everyone that meets him loves him. He's always in a good mood, never loses his cool, but more importantly, I could always go to him for sound, level-headed advice. So I sat down with him, and I told him the situation. And then I shared with him, I'm like, I want to go to Florida. I feel like I need a clean, fresh start. I want to move to Florida, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go down there without a job. And then I'm also torn because I won't be able to see you that often. And my dad looked in my eyes and he said, I've lived my life. You have your whole life ahead of you. If you feel in your heart that you'd be better off living in Florida, then you should go. And ladies and gentlemen, that made it much easier for me. Now, granted, I'm still going to miss my dad, but it made it a lot easier with his blessing. And so I came down to Florida, and I decided to go into real estate sales. I did that for 2 years. When that wasn't working, I left. And I began looking for a job. And I spent months doing that. And I got to tell you, there was times when I was really frustrated and really sometimes didn't feel like looking. But then my father's words kept ringing in my ears. Never, ever give up. Say it with me. Never, ever give up. Thank you. I found a job in inside sales. I took that job and I hated it. It wasn't long before we parted ways. So, bang, I'm back on the job search again, I'm looking again, and I'm frustrated. And I spent about 7 or 8 months looking for a job. I wanted a job so bad that I even thought about doing the Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire thing. And then I pictured myself in a wig and a dress. And it was not pretty, folks. And then I thought, how can I pull this off? I've got to shave my legs every day. I've got to put makeup on. And can you imagine plucking these? That alone was a full-time job, right? No, I couldn't do it. But then I started to think, wow, I mean, even if I were crazy enough to do that, what if I had to go to the bathroom while I was at work? I'd have to use the ladies' room. I can't even imagine the trouble I'd get in there. And even worse, I thought, what if a guy hits on me at work? What would he be in for a shock if he got fresh with me, right? No, couldn't do it. Could not do it. So I continued my search. And I found what I thought was the perfect job. My job was to call on small and medium-sized businesses and help kids with learning disabilities get jobs. And folks, I loved it. And I was good at it. Who knew? And it really warmed my heart when I found jobs for these kids. I mean, I found jobs that these kids wanted. I didn't just stick them in a McDonald's or a Burger King. They told me they wanted to work with pets. I found that girl a job working with pets. Somebody else wanted to work in a restaurant. I found them a job working in a restaurant, and so on. But dealing with my boss, That is a topic for another speech entitled How to Deal with Difficult People. We soon parted ways. And ladies and gentlemen, I was so frustrated because I loved that job. And I looked and looked and looked for several months. I was out of work for almost a year. And again, my father's words kept ringing in my ears to never, ever give up. So I kept on looking, and finally I found a job. I couldn't believe what I was reading. Everything they wanted, I had. It was an outside sales job, and they wanted somebody with real estate experience. I had it. They wanted somebody with cold calling experience. I had it. They wanted somebody with training experience. I had it. And the icing on the cake, they wanted somebody with public speaking experience. I had it. I applied to the job, and after 5 interviews, I got the job. And ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how thankful I am and grateful that I have that job. But I'm especially grateful to my dad for teaching me to never, ever give up. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter what life throws at you, no matter how challenging or difficult the situation may be, I want you to remember my father's words, which were,
never, never give up.
Madam Contest Chair.
All right.